I have spent the last 2 days doing nothing but playing games on Steam. That's right.
Hey, retweet, right? Lots of games to play on Steam. Steam's pretty cool. There's lots of stuff, lots of different genres. I bet that's what you're going to talk about, right? Oh, there's nothing to play on Steam. PC gaming is a joke, is the title of your video. You spent the last 2 days playing games on Steam and there's nothing to play on Steam. This will be fun. This will be fun, right? Let's watch this together and probably all die.
I got my high-end gaming PC set up. I downloaded a bunch of games. I was searching through the libraries. I was
Looking through the libraries is a weird way to put it. Like, I mean, I guess if you're new, then like sure that you would want to say something stupid like I was looking through the libraries. It's just one library. It's just one library. Okay, Steam has one library of games that you buy from. Also, I like the Mario hat on the coat rack back there, just in case you wanted to completely give the game away.
I was looking at the Steam store. I was looking at the Steam sales. I was looking at upcoming releases. I was sitting there for hours and hours and hours trying to find something to play on Steam.
The only time that I ever have a problem finding something to play on Steam is because there's so many things to play on Steam, and I get FOMO of playing other things. That's the sign of a good platform. Having so many games to play that it's almost overwhelming, that is a positive.
And once again, there was absolutely nothing. Within 2 days, I had played basically everything I wanted to play.
So, there were things to play. You said there was nothing to play for 2 days, but also after 2 days, you played everything you wanted to play. So, there were games to play, right?
Right? Doom Eternal, Tales of Arise, right?
Those are two very different games. I guess positive. Another positive of Steam. There's a very wide variety of games, but if those are the first two that came to mind, question mark. Also, not to doubt your ability as a gamer, but also to completely doubt your ability as a gamer. There is no fucking shot that you of all people finished Doom Eternal in less than 2 days. Like, that just didn't happen.
And that's basically it, right? And of those two, the only one that was any good was Tales of Arise,
Oh, who saw that coming? You didn't finish Doom Eternal.
right? So Tales of Arise is the only good game on Steam, is my understanding of this situation.
Which I think is a funny statement in itself because it only has a 75% recent approval rating on Steam. The overall is 88, but like I think it's funny that you search through all of Steam, you search through the whole thing, there's nothing to play. There's only one good game on Steam in your eyes, and that one good game still can't even manage a 90% approval rating from the rest of the people who use this platform and actually have a brain in their heads. That's not meant to be a diss on Tales of Arise. It could be fun. It could also be awful, and I just don't know anything. But I just think I think the wording is funny. That's all. Moving on.
There's nothing else to play. Nothing. Steam is a complete joke. Doesn't have Unicorn Overlord,
Just emulate it. Just because it's not on Steam doesn't mean it's not on PC.
doesn't have Princess Peach Showtime,
Emulate it. Again, just emulate it.
doesn't have another Code R or Mario versus Donkey Kong. I have had so many good, all right games on Nintendo Switch this year, and Steam doesn't have a fraction of that.
I mean, my backlog runneth over, honestly, largely because of all of the games available on Steam and all the games available on Xbox Game Pass and all the games that I have downloaded on my emulators. Steam is not where PC gaming ends. I just recently finished Warhammer Bolt Gun, which is an absolute ass kicker of a game. Absolutely go play that. I also recently reinstalled Wolfenstein The New Order to go through the Game Pass version and double up on all the achievements that I have on the Steam version. Because after getting turned inside out 6 times an hour on Bolt Gun, I'd like to just play a nice little comfort shooter where I know where everything is and I know how to blow everything up. I'm also still working on the 100% completion of Warhammer Darktide. I'm a couple hours into a couple games on my emulator. I got the SpongeBob movie game going. That game's actually very, very fun. There's something very nostalgic about early to mid 2000s 3D platformers that I like. I like those. What else have I got going? I'm still going through Dark Souls 1 again because I have a previous point about comfort zones. Someone gifted me Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam, so I'm gonna go through that eventually, probably after I finish God of War 2018. Which is another game that I feel like I should play it, I feel like I've dismissed it so many times because of my experience a few years ago with it. It was on sale, I downloaded it, I might as well give it an honest try. Basically the same emotions I have towards Horizon Zero Dawn and a lot of other PlayStation games where it's like, I feel like I dismiss these games out of a negative first impression or a negative first experience, and I feel like I should force myself through them since people look at my opinion as something that's important. For some reason, I don't know how I stumbled into this situation where people actually listen to me, but here we are. The point I'm getting at is that there are a lot of games to play on the PC. Ooh, and this doesn't even include the games that I have in my my PvP cycle. I usually have like 2 or 3 PvP games that I jump between in between single player games when you need a little palate cleanser, like I don't feel like committing a bunch of time to a single player game right now, or paying attention to a story right now. I'll just jump into a PvP game for a half an hour and call it good. So I have PvP games that I jump between. I like Valorant. I am kind of iffy on the current season of Apex Legends, not because the gameplay isn't great. I think Apex Legends in terms of gameplay is in a fantastic place right now, but the map selection and the matchmaking and the connection have been really bad this season, and it's really weird because I think if we're just talking about just the sheer gameplay, the sheer gameplay of Apex Legends, I'm rambling now. Can you tell I've had a lot of coffee this morning and literally nothing else? Apex, I think, is in a fantastic place. I think in terms of balance and just raw gameplay, Apex is in the best place it has ever been in, but the map selection is destroying it for me. I hate the map rotation. Put Kings Canyon back in the game with this gameplay, and it will be the only thing that I play. I completely forget what point I was trying to make. Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of games on PC, and if you think there's nothing to play, you're dumb, especially if you're going to then immediately turn around and go up to bat for Nintendo, who has probably the most painfully curated game library and game selection of any platform right now, and they charge you out the butt for literally everything. Sometimes I like to look at how long I've been recording versus how long into the video I am right now. I've been recording for 10 and a half minutes now. I'm 1 minute and 17 seconds into his video. This one's going to be fun.
What am I going to play on this thing? Tekken 8 with its battle passes and its microtransactions and its censored female characters? No.
At the risk of sounding like a wokey, if you think female characters not being naked in a game that's only rated T for teen, like it's not even an M-rated game, we're talking about Tekken. If you think the female character is not looking sexy enough in a T-rated game and that's a deal breaker for you, again, at the risk of sounding like a wokey, you might just be kind of a goofball who maybe should go on a date if that's in your wheelhouse.
I'm not going to play Tekken 8. I have good fighting games. If I want to play Tekken, I'll just play Tekken 7. I don't need Tekken 8.
He's like, I don't want to play Tekken 8. I have good fighting games on the Switch. Names precisely one game, and it's a Tekken game also. Yes, such a great variety of fighting games on the Switch, because I have Tekken 7 and that's all.
Okay, if I want to play a good fighting game, I'll play Soul Calibur 2.
A game that's available, everywhere? How is this an argument against the PC? The PC has Soul Calibur 2 as well. This isn't an argument.
Bro, it's sad how much better Soul Calibur 2 looks, plays, and feels compared to Soul Calibur 6.
I mean, I'm sure that's true, but again, this isn't a point against the PC. PC has all those games in question. I also enjoy the fact that you're talking about, we have good fighting games on the Switch. The most recent high-profile fighting game on the Switch that's not Tekken 8, I would say, is the most recent Mortal Kombat, but you don't want to talk about how Mortal Kombat plays on the Switch because it plays like a fucking booty hole of peanuts on the Switch. Wow. I'm going to cut that.
It's embarrassing listening to that awful voice acting, seeing these terrible character models, seeing the world have so much less personality, gone are is the epic narration, the cool original stage design, the great opening cinematic, the amazing music, Link,
Sounds to me like you just like Soul Calibur 2. And that's okay if you like Soul Calibur 2. It's from what I actually haven't played Soul Calibur 2 specifically. Put a decent amount of time into Soul Calibur 4 when I was younger, but I don't think I ever played 2. But if I did want to play Soul Calibur 2, I would just boot it up on Dolphin, right? Because that's a GameCube game. So I could just put it on Dolphin and play it that. What is... You see what I mean about how this isn't actually an argument?
The greatest character in any fighting game ever. You have Geralt and 2B. What a downgrade. Imagine going from Link, the greatest video game character of all time.
Yes, the greatest video game character of all time is the character with 20% of an actual character in him. And that's not a dig on Link. That's literally how he was designed. He was designed to be kind of a blank slate character. He's like original Master Chief or Gordon Freeman, you know? It's kind of hard to say he's a great character when he's intentionally not much of a character. It's like saying your favorite character in all of gaming is the custom avatar you had in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Like, it's just don't do that, please. It's just don't, please.
To freaking Geralt. Okay.
Especially if you are then going to immediately compare him to actually one of the best characters in gaming, Geralt from The Witcher 3. Oh my lord, play a game.
One of the most overrated fantasy heroes in, like, the past 20 years, okay? You know, nobody cares about that Elric and Melibene ripoff. Nobody! Nobody likes Geralt.
A lot of people like Geralt. And here's the thing, too. Is Geralt slightly overrated? Yeah, absolutely he is. Does that mean he's bad? Or does that mean he's not still one of the best characters? No, he still is. Because he's written phenomenally well, and he has great character arcs, and he has great depth to his personality, and the things that he's been through change who he is, and the impact that you have as the player on the world impacts him and continues his story. That's why people like it. You're comparing this to a literal blank slate character, and it's... Don't want to get demonetized. Yikes.
And it's just one of those things. It's embarrassing seeing people seriously try to prop up Steam as like a viable alternative to Nintendo.
I mean, people aren't using Steam as an alternative to Nintendo. They're using the Steam Deck as an alternative to the Switch. They're using the PC as an alternative to Nintendo's ecosystem because we have more Nintendo games than Nintendo's ecosystem, ironically, because Nintendo just refuses to preserve all of their games. They want to charge you monthly for inferior emulation, and you're just cool with that. I swear, you have the worst habit of getting really close to an actual argument that people are making, and then just instead of responding to that argument, you change it. And you're arguing against nobody now. You're literally just yelling into the void at this point because you're responding to critics that don't exist.
Because, like, you know, what's the big game everyone's talking about now? Stellar Blade? You know, that's not coming out on PC.
Stellar Blade is almost certainly coming to PC, actually, at some point. I don't know when. It's not confirmed yet, but it's a Sony game. It's a PS5 game. It's published by Sony. It's going to come to PC eventually. Also, is Stellar Blade really the big talk of the town right now? The demo kind of left people with mixed opinions from what I saw. I could just be out of the loop on that. Carry on.
You know, Stellar Blade, that's not coming out on PC, right? You know, like, everyone knows that these games are going to come out, like, on PC eventually, but the fact that you have to wait a year... Like, you really are just better off buying a console, right?
No, we have more games to play in the meantime. We don't mind waiting a year for a better version of a game than what we would get on the console otherwise. Like, we're okay waiting for that because we have so many games to play in the meantime. That big monologue I went on earlier in the video about all the stuff that I'm playing, none of those are really recent games, with the exception of Bolt Gun, I guess. Bolt Gun came out last year, I think. Just my backlog is huge. I'm not getting to everything as it comes out because I play on a platform that has way more games than I'll ever be able to play. I installed Lizards Must Die like 6 months ago and I still haven't played it. I've been meaning to. I just have so many other things to play.
Unless you're like me and specifically primarily buy Nintendo games, like, there is no reason to own a gaming PC.
Because Nintendo has all the games that I would want to play. Just has all of them. Nintendo games are just so top tier all the time. Every game that comes out on the Switch, and that's just so many games coming to the Switch nowadays. Am I right, ladies? I don't know why I said am I right, ladies.
You know, like, like, the gaming PC works for me because it allows me to avoid the hardware that I hate, right? But, like, if you're just a neophyte who's just getting a gaming PC because, like, oh, it has all the best games, like, you are in for a rude awakening.
Wait, you use the PC to avoid the hardware you hate, so you get it. You get it. We're on PC to avoid the hardware we don't want to support. Again, you're so close. You're so close to getting it.
Boyo, because Pow World doesn't live up to the hype. Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't live up to the hype. Elden Ring doesn't live up to the hype.
If any of those games were on the Switch, you wouldn't be saying this. You would be saying those games are worth the hype and you should play them on Switch. We all know how you play your game here. Also, if you genuinely think Elden Ring is not worth the hype, I can't wait to see what you say about Shadow of the Erd Tree completely dominating sales charts when it comes out later this year. A DLC for Elden Ring is very possibly going to be the most praised and most bought gaming anything of the entire year. I cannot wait to see how you try to dismiss that.
You know, like, we have, like, new Elden Ring DLC coming out, like, in the next couple of months, and does anyone care?
The base game jumped to the top of the Steam top sellers list when the trailer for the DLC came out. The trailer for Elden Ring's DLC caused so much hype that enough new purchases of the base game shot it to the top of the Steam charts. I think people are going to play the DLC.
Is anyone talking about it? No.
Because the trailer came out like a month and a half ago at this point. There's no new information, so what would we be talking about? As soon as a new trailer for Shadow of the Erdtree drops, people will talk about it again. People generally don't talk about things when there's nothing to talk about. How is this weird?
The game is a complete joke.
Yeah, definitely don't cut this part out of the video. Definitely leave the part in where you're drinking something that I can't tell what it is. Okay, we have time for this. This is great. God, people who drink something and then say, those are like, go to hell.
Baldur's Gate 3 is just one example of just everything wrong with PC gaming.
Okay. All right, we're here now. All right. Oh, that's another game on my backlog, Baldur's Gate 3. It's just fucking huge. You can't expect me to get through it in a reasonable amount of time.
Right. It has nothing to do with, like, high quality video games or good graphics or good stories or, like...
Baldur's Gate 3 is gorgeous. Don't even talk about graphics or story. Baldur's Gate 3 has a great story. Baldur's Gate 3 is a gorgeous game. Like, what do you want about?
You know, making games that are better for adults, right? It's just something targeted towards casual gamers.
Baldur's Gate 3 is not targeted towards casual gamers. It picked up in the casual scene because it's just targeted towards gamers, people who like games, and it's not so complicated that a casual gamer couldn't play it. But to say Baldur's Gate 3 is targeted towards casual gamers is no, just no. Do you hear that? Big ass helicopter? I'm also fighting against the clock here. I really gotta pee. So I think we're gonna have to wrap this one up soon. I feel like every time I respond to you, and people send me these videos, they want me to respond to Harmon Smith all the time. People are like, Harmon Smith made a new video. Harmon Smith has said something stupid. And I'm like, yeah, of course he said something stupid. He's Harmon Smith. And I was perfectly content just making snarky tweets instead of doing whole videos. But then you made a video about Steam. So of course people send me the video that Harmon Smith made about PC gaming. Of course the PC YouTuber gets sent that video, and I want to get through more of this. I'm halfway through right now. I'm 4 minutes and 22 seconds out of an 8 minute and 40 second video. I've officially made it past the halfway point, but I've spent so much time just rambling because it is so hard to do this. Okay, we'll keep going. We're going to make it through this. Continue.
Right. It is a mobile tier. Like, it is a mobile game, essentially.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a mobile game. Okay, I can't do this. Toodles.